Hi, everyone. My name is Dan Kimmerling, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of a company called Standard Treasury. Standard Treasury is the API banking company. For those of you who don't know what an API is, it's a programmatic way for two computers to speak to one another autonomously. What we know is that commercial and institutional customers want to programmatically communicate with their financial institutions over APIs. Unfortunately, most financial institutions don't offer programmatic interfaces. They don't offer APIs to their customers. And when they do offer programmatic interfaces, they're antiquated. They might be from the 70s or 80s at best. And oftentimes, the details of the experience are quite poor. For example, the documentation is out of date. They don't have up-to-date support and SDKs and tutorials. It actually is quite difficult to programmatically interface with your bank. What we do at Standard Treasury is we have a white-labeled platform that we sell to financial institutions that allow them to have a full-stop API platform. We go into their data center, deploy our software on top of their middleware and core systems, go as far down as the mainframes if we have to extract data and transform it in a way that we can then expose over API. We also provide the SDKs and the developer support necessary to have a great API experience. Finally, we actually provide growth and partner engineering so that we can actually help a bank's customers to move on to the API over a legacy programmatic interface or alternatively manual processes. What we know is that banks and their customers love this. At Airbnb, we have helped them radically streamline their experience on all kinds of their back office financial operations by allowing them to interface with their financial institutions over APIs. That's allowed them to scale globally much faster. And we know that this is quite popular with financial institutions because just since the beginning of the year, we've already achieved $1 million annual recurring revenue run rate. And this is not, and we're doing so with a small team. We actually have so much demand that we can't service all the banks that have come to us recently. This is the online banking portal of the future. It looks radically different than what online banking looks like today. It looks like what a software engineer would use to interface with your bank, because that's what's happening today. Software is allowing people to be pulled out of the interface between banks and corporate and institutional customers. And we can replace those people and the manual processes they conduct with software-mediated banking. What we know today is that banks are really suffering from a variety of issues. They have stagnated revenue growth. The low interest rate environment is making it hard for them to generate substantive net interest margin, and new regulations like Basel III are increasing the capital requirements such that it will be hard for them to grow. We know that a one-size-fits-all model, the model that traditional online and mobile banking supports, is just not the way of the future. We think that APIs are a major part of that future. What we've seen through our work with banks is that APIs generate increased revenue for banks because it generates increased transactional volume. It decreases churn because for the first time, your customer is locked into the banking platform at a technical level. For the customer to switch banks, it would literally require them to recode their applications. And it decreases the cost of servicing the customer because the customer is now transacting machine to machine all the way through. There's no humans involved in the day-to-day maintenance of the experience. We believe that APIs are the best way to increase top-line revenue in an era of decreasing fee and interest income. One thing that's really differentiated us from other bank vendors is that we price our product in a way that is highly predictable and consistent for financial institutions. Rather than trying to nickel and dime banks, we give them a recurring fee that is all-inclusive, that includes the integration, the support, the technology, and we found that to be really something that banks love about our model. In addition, they love the fact that we're on-premise and in their data center so that they don't have to worry about the data moving to the cloud or moving out of a secure environment. What we know today is that online and mobile banking is a more than $10 billion a year business. Banks around the world right now are just starting to wake up to this idea of API banking, and being the premier supplier of API banking to banks around the world gives us a huge opportunity to go after in the tens of billions of dollars. We're very lucky that we've entered a market where there really are no other effective competitors. Our solution is full stack and only for banks, whereas other vendors try and move between industries indiscriminately, and that's really hurt them. We have a great team, and we are very lucky to have gone through Y Combinator and be backed by some great investors, including Index and RRE. Thank you.